Hello guys, welcome back to 24 Carats Hangout. And this is the part 2 of Purpose Discovery. So if you've not watched the previous episode, do well to watch it so that you can, be up to date and understand the context of this episode. And with me here is no other person than the amazing Uncle Chris.
Hello, hi everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so now without wasting further time, we are diving straight into the discussion. Okay, so Uncle Chris, you mentioned asking questions when we want to discover our purpose, right?
Yep.
So, but there are some people that have the opinion that you don't necessarily need God to discover your purpose, because you mentioned some things that are pointers to our purpose, and so some people feel like that's enough for them to discover their purpose. So what are your thoughts on that?
So one of the things that we must understand about God is that He has always left clues on how to find Him. He has always left clues with us on how to even find ourselves. So there are several factors that you can actually use as pointers to be able to discover your purpose. Luckily for some people, they stumble into those things and they are actually living it out. But then you must understand something, that it is only the person that created you that knows exactly how you should. Because it's one thing to know what your purpose is. It's another thing to know how you should be able to live that purpose and where you should live that purpose per season of your life. If you're supposed to be in Nigeria and you decide to jackpot, even though you are living God's purpose concerning your life, you are doing it in another place. You are not serving the people you are supposed to serve. Maybe at that season of your life, you're supposed to serve Nigerians and serve Africans, but you are serving the people living in Canada. So those are not the people that your purpose was, that were called, you were called to fulfill your purpose to, or live your purpose to serve. So that's why it's important to always depend on God, to seek God, because God helps to guide you. God helps to instruct you what to do, where to go, how to go about it, and all of that. Those things are not things that you will just jump in and find, as a result of the fact that you think you're passionate about something and figure it out by yourself. No. God will give you instructions per time. There was a time I was in Calabar, and I wanted to leave Calabar, and God said to me, stay in Calabar. I stayed in Calabar. When it was time to leave, God showed me that it's time to leave, and this is where you're going to. And that was exactly what happened. The owner of the organization where he said, this is where we are going to go to, called me and said, can you come and work with me?
Wow.
These are ways that I've come to discover that God is interested in not just your purpose, but where and how you fulfill your purpose and the generation that you need to serve. If I hadn't gone to Jos, I wouldn't have met you guys. If I had not lived in Jos, because I was in Calabar at the point and he said, go to Jos. So I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have known you. So God has called us to serve, to live our purposes according to His will, but according to also according to His prescription. And that prescription has to also do with where you live, who you are with, who you are serving, per time, and all of that. So we definitely do need God.
Absolutely.
We do.
Absolutely. I love an illustration that Dr. Mazmur usually gives. He says, when the manufacturer of a car, he puts it out for sale, who gives the instruction on how to use the car? Is the person that manufactured the car. And I believe it's the same with purpose as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Uncle Chris, moving on, do you think people's purpose change over time? Because there's like a tendency for people to be in a particular zone or fulfilling their purpose in a particular way, and then maybe towards the later stages of their lives, it seems like, okay, they are now transitioning. So is it like their purpose is changing, or maybe the way God wants them to fulfill it in that season is changing?
I don't think the purpose of a thing or purpose of someone changes. The manufacturer of this seat, why the person manufactured this seat is for it to be able to carry people comfortably. In the next 10 years, it will still be the same purpose. So Purpose does not change, but methodology may change.
Mm.
Methodology on how you fulfill that purpose may change. Because you are in different seasons of your life, you're in different phases of your life, and the methods at which you can actually use to fulfill that purpose can change. Also because of the type of number of people you're serving, their age, their location, their level of knowledge, and all of that. So your method will change. For instance, if I'm going to go and preach the gospel to people in the village who don't understand English, I need an interpreter.
Yes.
And I need to make the English even very simple so that the other person will be able to interpret well. But if I come to the city and I go to a university where I have students who understand English, I would talk to them myself. If I also go to a church that has a mix of old people, young people, intelligent, educated, non-educated, my method will change. It's the same message of Jesus, but then the method is changing because of the people that I'm reaching out to. So location, seasons of our lives, will change. The way I was relating with you when you were 10 years ago, or when you guys were teenagers, is not the way I relate with you now. You guys are all grown. You guys are now big boys. You're adults, and all of. So the methodology now changes. The need to serve you, in this season of your life is not the same as when you were a lot younger. Yeah. So purpose remains the same, but methodology changes. Yeah.
And using the example you gave on preaching, back in the days, it used to be cassettes and all those stuff.
Exactly.
But now with social media, you can watch clips of, so it's the same purpose, but, the methodology changed, like you said.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing, Uncle Chris. Then there's this common, should I say, confusion that young people have. They are often confused when it comes to career and purpose. So some people think that their purpose is supposed to be their career, and vice versa. So what's the difference between your career and your purpose?
Okay, so your career can be your purpose, or your purpose can be your career, whichever one.
Okay.
But that happens when you're able to discover your purpose early. So in the last video, we talked about parents helping their children to train them in the way that they should go. So when a child understands that his purpose is to help people become well, and his purpose is to help remove sickness from the bodies of people, to help them, get well and all of that. If that child found that at the age of 10, and they are sure, and as they keep growing, that witness in them is very strong, that passion in them is very strong, it will only be natural for them to study medicine. If they go to study arts, they've veered off. Absolutely. So if their purpose is to actually help heal people, help people get well and all of that, and they are able to discover that early, then they would go to school to study medicine. That is the tool to help them fulfill their purpose. They can decide to build hospitals all around the world. They can decide to have a non-profit organization that serve people, to help people get well. Whatever it is, all of those methodologies, all of those tools are ways to fulfill the purpose of healing people or helping people get well and ensuring that there are no sick people out there. So, but then if you discovered your purpose at the age of 35, you've graduated from the university, you're already working, somewhere. So except you decide to go back to school to maybe do a master's to help realign you to your purpose, you can just be doing that and do your purpose by the side. So this could now just be a vocation that gives you money. Yes, you're contributing to the society, but then you're also living your purpose on the other side. Yeah.
Amazing. So your career can also be
yes, purpose. It can be your purpose and it cannot be your purpose. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Andre. So last question now. There are certain people that maybe when they get to discover their purpose at an early age, it's sort of not the norm in society. Maybe what God is calling them to do is not something that is normal in that sense. And so, they often face this pushback, sometimes even from parents as well. So, if someone finds themselves in that situation, how can they navigate, that particular situation?
Yes, a lot of young people have that problem, especially when you're under your parents, and you're probably saying, "I want to study this," or "I want to go and learn this," and they're saying, "No, my child will be a photographer." How can you say it's photography that you want to? How can you say you want to be carrying camera all your life? Because they had thought that medicine is the way, engineering is the way, law is the way. So any other thing outside that, you're just a clown. So unfortunately for some, that's like the situation where they find themselves. So one of the things that I always say to young people is, it's important to show that you're responsible. If you can't make your bed, if you can't clean the house, if you can't do the dishes, if you can't show yourself to be a responsible child at home, your parents won't respect you. They will not think that your decision you're making the right decision for yourself, because they've not seen that discipline, they've not seen that character trait that shows that you know yourself, you know what you need to do, and this is the best path for you to follow. So if you're that type of person who they are always taking care of, who they're always calling to come and do this, do that, and they don't see that you're responsible, they don't see that you can actually effectively take care of yourself, then they won't listen to you. So it's important to show yourself to be that type of child that your parents are proud of, that your parents would say, "Oh, wow, I'm very proud of this boy, I'm very proud of this girl. I don't need to supervise her, I don't need to micromanage her. She knows what to do. She also takes care of her siblings." When you're that type of child, when you now say, "Mommy, this is what I want to do," they'll say, "Are you sure?" Say yes. They know that you are a responsible child. And even if you decide that you want to be a photographer, they know you'll be a responsible photographer. And you will make something out of it. Because you've shown that character trait, you've shown that ability over little things and everything at home. So you have a lot of young people who are scattered, confused, they're not showing that they're responsible, and then you're saying you want to go and study what? So you can carry this character and ability. At least if you're not showing responsibility, try and be a doctor. So because they are trying to think about how your security. Doctors are a lot more disciplined, at least they make money. If you go and do this one with this your character, you will not go anywhere. So a lot of times it's the fear that a lot of parents have about the behavior of their children, their disposition to life and all of that. But if you show responsibility, they will at least listen to you. So, but then if you show responsibility, you're that great kid and they're not listening to you, it's important to pray to God about it. Ask God to touch the heart of your parents. Show that you are really passionate about this thing. Make good grades in that area that you are passionate about. So you can't say, "Oh, I want to go and be a doctor in biology, you're getting F9. So your results have to be consistent with what you're saying you want to do. If you say you want to be an engineering student, your math and physics are saying that you have D7, but then your biology and English are saying that you have A1, A2. They will not think that that's a good decision, So let it be that your results are showing that the area that you say you want to study or become or do anything you want to do is the area that you are great at and you're showing your results. That way, they would probably also think about it. And if they still do not think about it, they don't want it, you've talked to God, you've done all you need to do, you can look for a mentor or somebody that they listen to who can talk to them. That person can educate them a little bit more, because sometimes it's superior knowledge that they need to get. So if they're able to get that superior knowledge, they will understand. So if it's a pastor or their mentor or anyone who they listen to, is a good way to go about it. And if you've done everything and they still don't want to listen to you, they're the ones who are paying your school fees. Go and do that thing. By the time you finish it, it's just 4 years. By the time you finish it, you can take care of your own school fees. You go and do what you want to do. No knowledge is a waste. That's what you should know. It doesn't matter whether you like that course or not. No knowledge is a waste. Education is something that will always be a leverage for you in life. So do it, and then you can now do a master's in the thing that you want to do, or if you want to go back to do a BSc again, that's totally up to you.
Yeah, amazing. And so if you take all these steps, there's no how.
Somehow
it must work.
Something will work.
Yeah.
Something will work.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Uncle Chris.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys, and so with that, we've come to the end of this amazing episode on purpose discovery. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on your notifications so that you get notified when we post new videos. So from myself and our amazing Uncle Chris, it's bye for now.
Bye, everyone.